I'll see if I can fit this into 5 minutes. I wasn't able to all afternoon. Okay, what is the Enlightened Perl organisation? That's me, Mark Keating. I work at Shadowcat Systems in the north of England, in Lancaster. I'm going to tell you what makes an Enlightened Perl project to sort of let you know why there is an Enlightened Perl organisation. First of all, it's an extension of Perl itself and the Perl OO. If you want to know more about the Perl OO, ask Matt. He knows more than I do. It's stable and production ready, i.e. it's used in industry, and therefore it has a community dedicated to making it continue to be used over a long period of time. It has tests, not just tests for the development of it, but also tests and deployment. So we will have a release candidate. The release candidate will put it out to some of the people developing. They'll test it on a range of systems. If they find problems, they'll put a release patch back into the actual system, so the release candidate becomes more stable and can be released better. It has mailing lists and IRC channels. Mailing lists being absolutely important for testing out any problem you have in your code. Often if you've got a really good project, you'll have somebody paste a large chunk of code. 5 or 6 people will start to debate on the best way to use it. You end up with a more elegant solution, at which point Matt shouts, well volunteered, and asks for a patch. That's usually the way it goes. IRC channels are also very good. We use them a lot for distributed development as a company. So they can be very good on large-scale systems that have got a lot of people worldwide to actually work together and to hack on the same thing at the same time, even though you're in different time zones. But they can be a little bit like a pub. They can be a very social environment, so don't walk in and start screaming. You wouldn't do that in a pub. Maybe hang around in them. They can be a little touchy, but they're great places. And again, essential. One of the best things about both of these is that somebody should be creating a log, and you've got a greppable source of information on the mailing list. The written word, there should be documents, and there should be perhaps hopefully books. There's a new Catalyst book coming out. I'd like to see there be a book on Moose, DBix class. Nearly all the strong modules should have a book associated with them.
The PDF for the Catalyst one's already out. Somebody's already found the mistake we made.
They also should have an architect working within the project. An architect is somebody who's looking 18 months to 2 years ahead of where the project is. This is not the next point release. This is, when are we bringing this thing in? Where is Perl going, and what do we have to do to change to go with it? An architect is essential because he will actually think these things through, talk about them on mailing lists, and you have other people from other projects on them. They can start to architect out theirs as well. So anything that's a dependency of something else becomes a way forward. Useful also to businesses. Businesses like to see a plan that goes forward more than 6 months or the next point release. They do want to know what's happening 2 years from now or 5 years from now. Repositories. Everybody uses them, obviously. Nobody doesn't have anything that's not in a repository. Doesn't really matter which one you use. SVN, SVK, Git, don't really care. Make sure you use one, but also use them for things like binary files. You only put them in there once, so it doesn't matter if they're huge. We have video files in repositories. You only update them once. So it's never going to be a real problem. Certainly make a new checkout. You might have a very long pull down, but it's really irrelevant. Just put absolutely everything in the repository. Make it safe. And make it so that other people can use the whole of the resource, including documents. It's important to have documents have a history as well. Just rewriting over a document file can actually be irrelevant if something goes wrong. You can't see where they went wrong. What aren't Enlightened Perl projects? They're not a toy or a hobby. They're not experiments or prototypes if they're in commercial use. If they started off that way, fine. The minute they go into use in the system, get yourself a community development around it to make it stable. They're not Perl 6 and Perl 5. They aren't the biggest language on the block. I'm tired of hearing people shout, my language is better than your language, this is better than that. No, we should be just looking at the languages and saying, how do they do this? What's elegant about it? How quickly can we steal that and put it in Perl? Aims. Illicit support material. Build installers for the projects. Get grants to do this thing. Make enlightened managers. And to put all these people into the same melting pot, so developers, managers, release managers, architects, they're all in the same area and in the same group. Why should you join? Well, if you're an organisation, you're devoted to modern Perl practices and the modern Perl ethos, you can also say these are the things that I use, and people will know that they're enlightened projects. You can also put money into individual projects. If you want them to change a certain module or library, we'll help you to find the people to actually change it. So you can sponsor development and focus for your own business. If you're an individual, it's great to be an Enlightened Perl. It's saying that I know about these projects, I use modern techniques. Not only that, I've worked with distributed systems and I've worked on very large-scale projects over a period of time. And you can shape the organisation, your vote counts. What have we done so far? Well, we have a list of the core projects that we support and like, and you can join in on them. We've done a couple of hackathons, most notably the Nordic hackathon that Matt was at. We have a workshop after YAPC Europe, that's going to be a full day. That's going to be Matt Trout, Ash Berlin, Jonathan Rockway. There's the extended Perl Core, which is Peregrine, and go and help him and support that. There's Planet Perl Ironman, which you're all blogging on, and if you're not, Matt's going to kick your ass later. And there's Grant Bounties. There's 3 of these already out. 1 of them's been taken. There's 2 more. You can actually get some money for writing some documents for us. And there's a democratic process. We're at the moment electing a brand new director. If you're a member of the organisation, you can put your name forward and be voted in. And that's it.